on us.
Call to order and flag salute.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone to the April 18th, 2024 Board of Education meeting. In accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, I wish to announce that the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. Notices announcing the date, time, and place for this meeting were sent to all concerned individuals, associations, and sent to Union County Local Source in accordance with Chapter 231 Public Law 1975. At this time, I'll take the roll. President Cho.
Here.
Vice President Justice. Ms. Cohn.
Here.
Mr. Colon.
Here.
Ms. Erde. Here. Ms. Kelly. Here. Ms. Stanton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Great. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see so many people for our board meeting. I'll turn it over to Mr. Huff. I think we have some more presentations and recognitions.
Good evening. Good evening. Got me? Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. Very exciting night. We are entering that time of the school year where we're going to have lots of celebrations and award ceremonies. And what better way to start that season than to recognize our teachers of the year, and for the first time ever this year, our support staff of the year. This is an opportunity to celebrate some of the most talented and dedicated professionals in our organization, and we wouldn't be who we are without them. So we thank you all very, very much. Round of applause for everyone. And with that, I turn it over to Melanie Cohn.
We are fortunate to have educators and staff members who are not only dedicated to the students of Summit, but who work tirelessly to cultivate a positive environment for children. Each year, a select group of staff members are recognized by Union County for exceptional use of effective and innovative instructional strategies, supporting and elevating the learning process of their students, and most of all, encouraging high achievement. We congratulate the Union County 2023-2024 Teacher of the Year recipients and thank them for the passion, commitment, and energy they bring to their students and to the district. After I call the names of this year's recipients, would those in attendance please come forward to the podium to receive a small token of our appreciation and smile for a quick photo. So first, unable to attend tonight, Amy Chambers, kindergarten teacher, Wilson Primary Center. Aaron Gilbert, STEAM teacher, Brayton Elementary School. Kathy Alberico, 5th grade teacher, Franklin Elementary School. Arthur Rogers, 2nd grade teacher, Jefferson Elementary School. Erica Dorsey, school counselor, Lincoln Hubbard Elementary School. Okay, thank you. Suzanne Polipsky, fifth grade teacher, Washington Elementary School.
Congrats.
John Ross, seventh grade science teacher, Lawton C. Johnson Summit Middle School. Caitlin Riley, ELL teacher, Summit High School. In addition to Teacher of the Year, Summit Public Schools are introducing the Support Staff of the Year. The Support Staff of the Year Award for the first time this year. This award aims to celebrate and honor the outstanding contributions of our support staff who consistently go above and beyond to ensure the success of our team and organization. It also seeks to shine a spotlight on those individuals who truly embody our core values: student-centered, collaboration, ethical conduct, and professionalism, respect for diversity and inclusion, and commitment to professional growth. After I call the names of this year's recipients from each school, would those in attendance please come forward to the podium to receive a small token of our appreciation and also smile for a quick photo. Liz Mondelli, aide, Jefferson Primary Center. Carolyn Polito, Main Office Secretary, Brayton Elementary School. Okay, thank you. Marty Napoles, Main Office Secretary, Franklin Elementary School. Debbie Vartan, Main Office Secretary, Jefferson Elementary School. Camille Nash, Head Custodian, Lincoln Hubbard Elementary School. Linda Mundy, Main Office Secretary, Washington Elementary School. Adriana Loiza, Counseling Department Secretary, Lawton C. Johnson, Summit Middle School. Marianne Tourette, Main Office Secretary, Summit High School. Congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Cohen. And once again, certainly from my heart to yours, thank you for everything you do. The people in this room are a small part of what make our school district so special. So one last round of applause for everyone, please. Thank you. And I thank you all for coming out, and you are all more than welcome to stay for the rest of the board business, because this is only the beginning of the excitement. But if you're so inclined, you can feel free to leave. We'll pause for a couple of minutes before we resume business. Yeah, 45. This was only like 18 flashes. I can see a little bit.
We'll resume our meeting. And again, good evening and welcome to the April school board meeting. And congratulations again to all the staff that were recognized this evening. I do want to make an announcement about next week that we will have another coffee with the board meeting for parents on Tuesday, April 23rd at 7 p.m. in the high school cafeteria. I'm pleased to center my comments this month around our STEAM goal and share some more information about Earth Day activities in the classroom at our elementary schools. Around 90 parent volunteers will be in each elementary school tomorrow to share Earth Day lessons with our students in 1st through 5th grade. It is vital for our students to understand the importance of environmental stewardship from an early age, and we appreciate all the parent volunteers for taking time out of their day to collaborate with our students and teachers. It not only enriches the learning experience, but also fosters stronger community ties, engagement, and education. The 1st grade lesson is growing from seeds. The 1st grade lesson on growing from seeds is an excellent hands-on approach to teaching children about the origins of their food and the importance of agriculture. It's fundamental knowledge that connects them to nature and healthy eating habits. And the second grade lesson is reduce, reuse, and recycle. Teaching second graders about the principles of reduce, reuse, recycle instills early habits of sustainability and responsible consumption. These lessons empower young minds to make a positive impact on the environment. Third grade lesson, conserving energy. Conserving energy is a critical lesson for third graders as they begin to understand their role in environmental conservation. Learning about energy efficiency at this age lays a foundation for lifelong habits that should benefit both the planet and their wallets. For fourth grade, it's climate impact. The fourth grade lesson on climate impact introduces students to the science behind one of the most pressing challenges of our time. Understanding the cause and effect of climate change is essential for empowering students to become informed global citizens. And lastly, for fifth grade lesson, corporate responsibility. Fifth graders will be taught about corporate responsibility or gaining insight into the role businesses play in shaping our world by exploring topics such as ethical practices and environmental impact. They're developing critical thinking skills and a sense of social responsibility. This is the second year Summit Public Schools invited parents to teach lessons related to Earth Day, but this year we're able to expand the opportunity to every classroom at each elementary school. Thank you to the parent volunteers, Dr. Cordero, and our building administrators for organizing this event for our students and families. Superintendent Huff, turn it over to you.
Thank you, President Cho. I'll begin my report as I always do by welcoming and recognizing our new hires. We like to do that at the start of our meetings. So when I say your name, please stand up so you can be recognized. Madeleine Travai, Science Supervisor. Melissa Browse, Language Arts Teacher, Lawton C. Johnson Summit Middle School. And Daniel Gardner, first grade teacher, Washington Elementary School. Thank you for coming. We welcome you to the community and we look forward to your contributions.
Should we do the motion? All right. Before we proceed with superintendent's remarks, we will need a motion to approve the 3 new hires just announced.
Moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Erde?
Yes.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Okay, motion's carried.
Congratulations. You two are more than welcome to remain for the rest of the meeting as well, but we won't be insulted if you take the rest of the night off. I'm going to continue with my report. The entire district was excited to view the solar eclipse last week. Thank you again to SEF and PTO groups for purchasing safety glasses for our students and staff. We want to extend our appreciation to everyone who attended the inaugural Summit Wellness Symposium last week. Thank you to our vendors for providing valuable information and resources, our keynote speaker, John Comegno, for kicking off the program with energy and insight, our experts in the breakout sessions for providing parents and guardians with strategies to support children, and our sponsors for making the event possible. And of course, thank you, Doreen Babbis and your team, for your vision and hard work to make this event a success. The district celebrated Autism Awareness Day on April 2nd. Staff members across all of the schools sported autism acceptance t-shirts to show our united support. At the primary centers, both Wilson and Jefferson primary centers hosted an autism awareness walks this week, which included music, bubbles, and sidewalk chalk for messages of kindness and acceptance. In addition, guest readers shared stories that aligned with our focus on inclusivity, friendship, and kindness. Students also created puzzle pieces that represented themselves, which were proudly displayed in our hallways. Washington Elementary School enjoyed 2 sets of assemblies this month, both sponsored by the generous PTO. The first was the drummer assembly, in which all students learned to play a percussion instrument and discovered how music is tied to math. The second was a Living Voices assembly, which gave students insight into their social studies learning. Students always enjoy the novelty and engagement that comes with assembly learning. Franklin Elementary School hosted its 5th annual Living Wax Museum, where students chose an important figure to dress up as and share facts about. All proceeds collected are going to be donated to Grace and Summit. Third graders went to Ellis Island to get a hands-on learning experience after concluding the immigration unit in social studies, and Franklin had 2 visiting authors, Rebecca Garden Levington and Rashad Malik Davis, who shared with us their writing and illustration processes by tapping into their creativity and following their dreams and passions. Franklin Elementary School is looking forward to their annual Franklin Fair hosted by the PTO. Happenings at Brayton. Brayton third grade presented Mini Ellis Island. To prepare, third graders participated in an immigration roundtable where Brayton families shared their immigration journeys and answered questions about their family history. They went to Ellis Island and took notes on what they saw. Some students were even able to find the names of their families. The third graders took all of their research and created a mini Ellis Island with all of the different stations that they learned about. And at Brayton, first and second graders worked together to organize a coin drive for the Citizens of the Month project. They collected coins with the total amount to be donated to the Nourish, New Jersey, a nonprofit agency that provides meals, housing to over 2,000 residents of North Jersey. Lincoln Hubbard, earlier this month, all students participated in Lincoln Hubbard's Day of Giving celebration. The Give and Give Back initiative not only benefits Lincoln Hubbard as a whole by raising funds that will continue to provide resources to our students, teachers, and school community, but it also gives an opportunity for each student to experience and engage in service-oriented activities for local organizations. And at Jefferson Elementary School, Jefferson's Cultural Festival took place on April 17th. Students, staff, and families showcased the country of their choice. The festival included presentations with artifacts, displays, performances, and bite-sized food. This was a wonderful way to celebrate diversity and learn about Jefferson's cultures. At the middle school counselors organized Mix It Up Day, which encouraged students to step out of their comfort zone and interact with peers that might not typically engage with. By mixing up social groups and students, we helped create a more inclusive and welcoming student environment. 8th grade peer leaders were also huge by helping to create advisory lessons and assisting homerooms in completing the tasks. And at Summit High School, the High School Girls Who Code Club is offering coding lessons to Summit Elementary and Middle School students at the Summit Free Public Library. The next lessons are scheduled for May 2nd and 16th from 4 to 5 p.m. And in the world of arts, many of our elementary schools have put on performances recently, including Annie at Lincoln Hubbard and Finding Nemo at Brayton Elementary School. Jefferson's play is next week. And if we noticed that in our reception we were missing some music this evening as entertainment, I'm proud to share that as I speak, members of the Summit High School Wind Ensemble, Chamber Choir, and Chamber Orchestra are performing at Carnegie Hall. 100 of our most dedicated and talented musicians have the unparalleled opportunity to play on a stage of one of the most famous concert halls in the world. We can't wait to see pictures and hear about their successful performances. And that concludes my report. President Joe.
Thank you, Superintendent Huff. Before we proceed, we do need a motion to approve the HIV and suspensions noted in the meeting agenda.
Ms. Stanton? Sorry. Yes. Ms. Kelly? Yes. Ms. Kelly? Ms. Erde? Yes. Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Very good. Now we will move on to our student board representative report. Elena Kipnitis, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I'll be filling in for Grace Epstein today. I'm the Senior Board of Ed representative. In sports news, the boys lacrosse team has had major success recently with the previous 3 wins for the varsity team. Over the last week, they played Cranford Scotch Plains in Washington State. Gavin Smith has been named the Celino Duane Summit High School Baseball Player of the Week this week for his outstanding performance in the varsity team. The varsity softball team has also won against Chatham over the weekend. The girls lacrosse team is doing super well as well. The recent win over Lawrenceville on Saturday ended up in 4 goals for Sloan Raschuti, 1 goal and 1 assist for Kate Riley, 2 goals for Molly Davies, and 1 goal for Kat Scallon, Mel Ducey, and Parker Febo. Summit relays have been happening this week during the first week of April that started on the 24th spring season. It was a super fun event for both distance and sprint team as well as the viewers. There are many events and relays in which the teams participated in hosting more than 10 teams at Tatlock Field. The varsity golf team has also been off to a great start this season. Summit won their first victory against Cranford and against Union Catholic the following day. In school news, a lot of seniors have been announcing their college plans, and I would like to put a personal shout out to my friends Maggie Franco and Dana Heil, who are both going to Wake Forest and Northeastern. Prom is also coming up. May 17th will be the annual junior and senior prom. Students are really excited for the fun night to arrive. Dress style recommendations and options have recently been published in the Monthly Verb through an article written by Ella Reinhardt Hepler. Student council and class council elections are coming up. Students have to create a speech and perform it on the weekly news as a part of their new campaign for the position. The Sega Club for Girls in Tanzania are writing their first letter to their pen pals in Africa. There's a recent bake sale held to raise money for their schooling efforts and a 5K walk being planned as a form of raising money for these young girls. The SSA's choir, orchestra, and bands are also taking a trip to Carnegie Hall right now. That's where my friends are. And they're going to perform for a crowd of people. In student council happenings, the student council recently held an ABA dance for Autism Awareness Month. Student council members created an unforgettable night by decorating the school cafeteria with lights, tables, food, and great music. It was an honorable experience and it was very rewarding. There will be another pep rally to the end of May following along with Spirit Week. Some possible themes may include Hawaiian Shirt Day, Anything But a Backpack Day, and Adam Sandler Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. All right, I do believe we have some additions and revisions to the agenda. Ms. Arno, if you could update us.
Absolutely. Addendum items include, under the superintendent's report of new hires, approval to appoint the following new staff pending criminal history review. Background checks are required by law and ability to attain appropriate New Jersey certification. Danielle Gardner, grade 1 teacher, Washington Elementary School, BA plus 15, step 4 to 5, $64,660. Effective August 28, 2024 for the 2024-2025 school year, which was already voted on. Under finance, item M, approval of natural gas sales agreement with Aggressive Energy to provide gas services to the district from 12/1/2024 to 12/1/2027 as per the EMEX reverse auction on 3/22/2024. Item N, approval to accept a donation from the Brayton School PTO in the amount of $19,620.56 to purchase playground equipment for Brayton School. Item O, approval of additional professional services with Perrette Somgen Architects, 439 Route 46 East, Rockaway, New Jersey, 07866, to include information gathering and documentation of existing conditions, schematic design, preliminary budgeting, and NJDOE project application, design development, construction procurement services, construction documents, and contract administration services for the Brayton Elementary School. Unit ventilators, project at a cost of $2,100. Under personnel, item B, approval of the following change of assignment. John Reinhardt from substitute teacher district to long-term teacher substitute, Lawton C. Johnson, Summit Middle School, at $265 a day, effective April 15, 2024 through May 17, 2024. And item E, approval to accept the resignation of the following staff: Chelsea Barretto, science teacher, Summit High School, effective June 30th, 2024.
Great, thank you, Ms. Arno. Now we'll move on to our committee reports, and we'll start with the Education and Student Activities Services Committee. Ms. Cohn.
Thank you, President Cho. The committee met on April 11th from 3:30 to 5:04 p.m. for 94 minutes. In attendance was myself, President Cho, Jennifer Erde, Dr. Cordero, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Superintendent Huff, Dr. Crystal Marr, Director of Student Personnel Services, Doreen Babis, Director of Special Services, and Dan Healy, Athletic Director. We began the meeting with an athletic program update. Dan Healy, the athletic director, shared a snapshot of athletic participation for the year. Looking at the demographic data, participation is representative of the demographics of the school. Reflecting on flag football, he noted that numbers are static in softball, lacrosse, and track and field, so expansion into flag football did not affect participation in other programs. A question was raised about finding space for flag football, and he noted that this had been an issue, but currently they are using Upper Tatlock Field. Other items discussed were Eli Manning helping coach some students in Summit School District athletic programs and the new uniforms for the unified basketball team. We then moved on to discussion of the ERI program. Doreen Babas, Director of Special Services, presented a plan for a new emotional regulation impairment ERI program for the district for 1st to 5th grade students. The pilot would begin in July. A teacher has been identified in district for the program. The program would be placed at Jefferson Elementary School. It requires the placement of a new teacher, a new aide, and a child team social psychologist or social worker. The district currently has 3 students that would be in the program. These students would be placed in an out-of-district program without the program being offered in district. A cost analysis was done, and 2 students in the program are close to budget neutral, while 3 students in the program save the district money. After a pilot, the district could accept appropriate out-of-district students into the program, which would add to the cost savings for the district. The Educational Committee gave its conditional approval for the program pending a review of the cost analysis and impact on budget by the Operation Committee. From there, we went to performance reports. Dr. Cordero shared the New Jersey performance reports from the last school year. The data is public on New Jersey Department of Education's website. All elementary schools and the high school are meeting targets in ELA and math. In the middle school, ELA is meeting targets. Math is not meeting targets. Part of the challenge is that about 40% of the middle school students are in Algebra 1, and so they are being tested at the high school level and not the middle school level, so they're not included in the middle school data. The school is formulating approaches to assist middle school students in achieving their math targets. These approaches include a thorough review of the course curriculum to identify and address any skill gaps, the implementation of a tutoring program specifically designed for English language learners, and the reinforcement of these efforts through the application of multi-tiered support systems. From there, we talked about professional development for 23 and 24. Dr. Cordero shared some of the highlights from professional development. The PD for 23-24 has included data analysis training for iReady, specifically at the middle school level, tiered systems of support, sheltered English instruction, restorative practices, and science of reading. Lizzie Hetzer is providing professional development for kindergarten and grade 1 in ELA. Wiley Blevins continues his professional development work with kindergarten, grade 1, and grade 2 teachers in ELA. Wiley will also be working with the kindergarten through 5th grade learning workshop teachers before the end of the school year. From there, we started talking about the 12-month holiday schedule revision. Superintendent Huff reviewed the holiday schedule for employees. He noted that there is a revision to the schedule. The Juneteenth holiday will be observed on Friday, June 21st. And then finally, we talked about Civil War reenactment in May. The middle school will be hosting the 27th Regimental Volunteers, which is a Civil War reenactors group. It has been doing this program for the past several years at the middle school. Superintendent Huff noted that unarmed Civil War era historical firearms will be on display for the students. Recommendations, none at this time. Next meeting is TBD. And with that, is there anything from the committee that I missed? Any questions from any of the other board members?
I just have a question. Dr. Cordero, you may have answered this in the past, but can you just remind me on the math targets that we're not meeting? Is that something for this year that's sort of new? Is it post-COVID? Because I assume all things held equal, we always have a certain amount of, middle school students testing into Algebra 1. Therefore, that wouldn't be a new variable, I assume. So is this something that has happened consistently for the last few years, or when did this kind of commence? Right, so but is this the first year we haven't met targets, or have we not met targets in the past? Okay.
Very good. Well, thank you, Ms. Cohn. Let's move on to the Operations Committee.
Thank you, President Cho. The Operations Committee met twice this month. The first meeting April 10th, the second meeting earlier this week, April 16th. The April 10th meeting was 55 minutes, the April 16th meeting 20 minutes. Attending the meeting on the 10th from the board, myself, Walida Justice, and Kelly Stanton. From the administration, Scott Huff and Kathy Sarno. And then for the meeting on the 16th, board members, myself, Kelly Stanton, and President Cho. And from the administration was just Superintendent Huff. The discussion items for the meeting on the 10th included, the meeting began with a discussion on ROD grants. And so these grants were referenced in minutes earlier this year that the district has qualified for New Jersey ROD grants for roof repairs and replacements for 4 buildings, those buildings being Brayton, Jefferson, the middle school, and the high school. The grants available to the district total slightly more than $5 million, representing 40% of the $12.6 million total estimated project cost for all 4 roofs. The administration has confirmed that 3 of the 4 roofs, representing over $12 million, $12.1 million of the $12.6 million total project cost, those 3 roofs are more than 20 years old, with Jefferson being the only exception, which is between 15 and 20 years old. In our next committee meeting, we will be discussing and reviewing the options available to the district to co-fund these projects alongside the ROD grants. The required district funding from the math to do all 4 roofs would be $7.6 million from the district, alongside the $5 million in ROD grants. A recommendation from our committee on these projects and their funding will be forthcoming, as the deadline for accepting the grants, along with confirmation of district funding for the projects, must be presented to the state no later than August 7th of this year. We then move to electric and gas procurement. The district has received final bids from electric and gas suppliers. The committee reviewed the bids and supports contracting with the suppliers who provided the lowest bids for the longest contract periods, which is a 2-year contract for electricity and a 3-year contract for gas, as these are the longest contract terms allowed by the state for each respective utility service. We then move to food service. The February P&L for district-wide food services was $10,370, bringing the year-to-date P&L to $161,151. Again, with most of that, $93,800 of that year-to-date amount derived from federal SCA grants. We then discussed a few miscellaneous items, a student fee increase for school-sponsored trips, an increase of $5 per student at the elementary level and $10 per student at the middle and high school levels. And this increase is primarily intended to cover the cost for nurses to attend certain trips per our policies. The administration confirmed that the residency verification process, which is a fun process that I think pretty much everyone on the days has been through, That process for incoming 6th and 9th graders will occur during the summer, consistent with the verification procedure in previous years. We then listened to a proposal from the administration for the issuance of an RFP for district physician services, and the committee supported this proposal, provided that the RFP includes the full scope of medical services required by the district for physician services. The April 16th meeting was a discussion covering one topic which was addressed in the Ed Committee minutes on the special education program. So that second meeting, we reviewed the proposal for the emotional regulation impairment program. This proposed program, driven by two factors, as noted, several in-district students requiring an ERA program for the upcoming year, as well as an out-of-district ERI program currently supporting a Summit student that will be closing next year. So the in-district program would require, again, as noted in the Ed minutes, 3 full-time hires plus a part-time bus driver with a few other miscellaneous costs, totaling $260,000. The annual cost to send a student to an out-of-district ERI program ranges from $140,000 to $155,000 per student per year. As such, in-district enrollment for 2 students would fully offset the cost of the program and actually generate a positive budget variance of approximately $35,000. The administration is currently expecting, I believe it's 4, but it may be 3 to 4 in-district students to participate in the program, with the potential to add out-of-district students in future years. And so based on this math, the committee is recommending approval of the proposed in-district ERI program, subject to the administration enrolling 2 or more students in the program, which means that the hiring for the program staff and the bus driver would be contingent upon the enrollment of at least 2 students. Recommendations: the approval of Shell Energy to supply electricity to the district for a 24-month term, and approval of Aggressive Energy to supply gas to the district for a 36-month term. Approval to issue an RFP for district physician services, and as just discussed, approval to implement an in-district special education emotional regulation impairment program with 3 educator hires, a bus driver, and other miscellaneous expenses totaling an estimated $260,000 per year, contingent upon a minimum of 2 students enrolling in the program. The committee's next meeting will be May 8th at 4:30 p.m. And I am praying to God that I captured everything from those meetings, but please let me know if I did not. Okay. Any questions from the board?
I have one question on the ROD grants. Is there a reason why we wouldn't go ahead and accept those grants now? Like what's the waiting period to decide if we want to accept them or not?
Yeah, so the hang up is the $7.6 million that needs to be funded from our district. So our capital account is, I think, Kathy,
3.7 million.
Yeah, it's between 3 and 4 million. So we actually don't have sufficient capital in the capital account to fund the full 60% for the roofs. And so now there's a question of, how we can go about doing this.
Okay, so it wouldn't be we could accept the 5 to do some portion in its entirety. It only covers a certain portion of each grant.
Yes,
Okay, got
so the state, and I don't often always say this, the state has acted fiscally prudent with the issuance of these ROD grants. And so they require co-funding. So for every one, and each of the 4 roofs has a separate ROD grant. So there actually is the potential to do some and not, 1 roof, 2 roof. But the district needs to commit to funding the 60% of each
Understood.
roof. Yeah.
Okay. And then just on the special education program that we're bringing in, I think that's fantastic. That makes sense for the district in the long run. Is there any scenario we think that we wouldn't, we would start this program and 5 years from now we wouldn't have students, or do we think this is really going to be an ongoing, continual need?
Yeah, so I'll let Scott and Doreen address that, but that was asked in the ops committee. And so obviously if we were to to lose the students and go underwater with the program, we could reallocate resources, and obviously we need the bus driver. So those costs aren't fixed. But I believe the expectation is that this program is going to grow, and that's where I would leave it to Doreen and Scott.
And long-term, we're looking to take in tuition students from other school districts who do not have this program but having need.
Thank you, Mr. Cologne. We'll move on to the policy committee. I think Jen, you have the floor.
The policy committee met on Wednesday, April 10th for approximately 28 minutes. Committee members in attendance, Scott, Robert Gardella, Kathleen Murphy, myself, Jennifer Wright, and Eileen Kelly. We had several items to discuss. We started with policy 1140, which is the educational equity policy affirmative action. It was a revision of a mandatory policy. Policy 1140 revisions included a title change, updated language to match code citations, clarification on allowing affirmative action officer to also be the Title IX coordinator, training requirements, and other minor language cleanups. Policy 2260, equity in school and classroom practices, a revision. The revisions to policy 2260 include a title change, updated language to match code citations, minor language cleanups, specifics on the English language proficiency assessment, an added layer of protection to avoid prejudice or penalty, an updated standards title and requirements, and a removal of the requirements to provide access to specific counseling services. Regulation 2260, equity in school and classroom practices complaint procedure. Regulation 2260 has been revised to include the variety of ways an issue can be reported and clarification on whose personnel the report can live in. Policy and Regulation 5530, the substance abuse for students and internal update. Policy 5530 was updated to align with current practices regarding administrators' determinations of test results. Regulation 5530 includes language that allows for more flexibility when enacting the policy. Finally, Policy 5570, which is sportsmanship, has been revised. The revisions to Policy 5570 include alignment with NJSIAA, General Information Constitution Bylaws and Regulations, updates to the definitions of sportsmanship and unsportsmanlike conduct, and language added to allow discretion when addressing violations. The committee recommendations are first reading of policies 1140, 2260, and 5570, as well as regulation 2260 and policy and regulation 5530, as well as second reading of policies 1530, 1550, 3211, 5841, and 9323, Regulation 1530, and Policy and Regulation 7610. Our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 8th, 2024 at 3:30. Any additions? Any questions?
Thank
My
you,
work
Ms.
here is
Surde. Communications Committee, Ms. Stanton.
The Communications Committee met on Tuesday, April 16th at 1:30 for approximately 26 minutes. Committee members in attendance were myself, Melanie Cohn, Eileen Kelly, Superintendent Scott Huff, Cabinet members Laureen Dickinson and Doug Orr. We started our meeting talking about the Wellness Symposium. Superintendent Scott Huff and Special Services Director Doreen Babis opened the evening with a welcome to all attendees. Keynote speaker John Camegno shared thought-provoking information regarding student mental health and 6 steps stakeholders can take to support students on a daily basis. Attendees then went into 2 breakout sessions of their choice. Opportunities to attend the sessions for both elementary and secondary students were available in both Spanish and English. Verbal parent feedback has been very positive, but additional feedback will be obtained as a survey link was sent out by Doreen Babis to all presenters, vendors, and attendees to help prepare for next year. This event aligned directly with our goal to support mental health for all stakeholders, parents, students, and staff. We then talked about the U.S. Wellness webinars. Our 5th wellness webinar for staff took place on Tuesday evening. Included in the email invitation to the webinar was a brief survey to inquire whether or not staff have found the webinars valuable, if they had other suggested topics, their time of day preference for the webinars, etc., to help obtain feedback on this initiative for planning purposes moving forward. We then discussed the Summit Educator Recruitment Expo. On Wednesday, May 1st, 2024, from 5 to 7 p.m. at Lawton C. Johnson Middle School, Summit will host an Educator Recruitment Expo. At the expo, participants will have the opportunity to hear directly from administrators and staff about our schools, as well as participate in a mini interview with an administrator for current and future opportunities in our amazing district. Registration for the expo is available online, and all talented and passionate educators are invited and encouraged to attend. And then finally, we discussed the science supervisor rollout with Tom O'Dowd announcing his retirement at the end of this school year. We're pleased to welcome Madeleine Travai as our new science supervisor, approved earlier in this meeting. Joining us from Kenelon, Madeleine has 9 years of supervisory experience and 17 years classroom experience. Communication has gone out to the Board of Education, Admin Council, and the interview committee. An additional announcement will be sent out tomorrow to all district staff. We are very pleased to have her joining our Summit team and happily welcome her. Our next meeting is Tuesday, May 7th at 12 p.m. Are there any additions from committee members? Questions or comments from the board?
Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Next is the Negotiations and Personnel Committee. We did meet on April 2nd, 12 noon for approximately 45 minutes. Board members Jennifer Erde, Michael Cologne, and I met with Superintendent Huff to discuss some confidential personnel matters. And lastly, we'll finish up with any liaison reports. Very good. No liaison reports. So now we'll move on to public comment. Ms. Arno, if you can just read off the rules for public comment.
Absolutely. Anyone wishing to speak shall first seek recognition by the presiding officer. Please come to the microphone and state your name and address in a clear, audible tone for the record. Please direct all comments to the board president and not an individual member of the board. Please remember to conduct yourself with decorum and respect when speaking and addressing the board. Unless additional time is granted by the board president, please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. In addition, please note that this portion of the meeting is for public comment and not meant to be a back and forth. Board members and administration will not respond to questions or comments at this time. However, information will be provided by the appropriate individual as soon as possible.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. So we will start with public comment for items on the agenda. Is there anybody that wishes to comment on items on the agenda? Seeing none, we will now move to public comment for items not on the agenda. Please step forward.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Zane. I live 120 Ashwood Ave in Summit. And that's all I had to say directly, right? Right. So again, hi, my name is Jennifer Zane. I live by Jefferson with my husband, and here he is, my 25-month-old son. My reason for being here tonight is to have the Jefferson Primary Center playground open. Jefferson does have another playground. However, it is outdated. I do know it's going to be updated, so thank you. However, it's not safe for my 25-month-old son to play on. If our Jefferson community wants to have our younger children play safely and independently, we have to drive downtown and pay for parking to use the maybe playground. Myself and 8 other families that I talked to are disappointed that the JPC playground is locked. I have reached out to the Jefferson principal and the superintendent multiple times regarding this issue. Before winter break, the superintendent assured me that the district was looking into adding security cameras to deter any possible vandalism and that the playground would be open by February or March. When February rolled around, the playground was still locked. I then reached out to the Jefferson principal to inquire on the status of the JPC playground. I was then informed that the playground was not going to be opened. 3 reasons given were: 1, to ensure the safety of students and the efficiency of the school; 2, to ensure the playground remains in good condition and the grounds are not treated in a poor manner; 3, parents and community members were disrupting teachers who were working and were breaking equipment in addition to other disrespectful behaviors. I understand the reasons given, even though I feel that if there are issues with a parent or parents, then that parent or parents should be talked to. The rest of the community should not be punished because of the actions of the few. I also want to keep the playground safe for everyone to enjoy. This is why I gave a solution of having a custodian unlock the gate when the school was over and then relock the gate at sunset. I was told that solution would not work. I still cannot see why, because the gate is directly next to the school to the door that goes to the school. So the custodian would only have to take a few steps out to exit to lock the gate and unlock the gate. Next, I reached out to the superintendent. The superintendent did not get back to me for over a week after calling multiple times, which brings me to this Board of Education meeting tonight. I would like to hear what the Board of Education has to say regarding the JPC playground and what actions need to be taken to unlock the playground for all to enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Staff member has taken notes, and we will review and get back to you and see what we can do. Is there anybody else that have comments for items not on the agenda before we proceed? All right, I need a motion to close public comment.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly? Ms. Erde?
Yes.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Okay, motion's carried.
Now we'll proceed to the kind of the operation part of our meeting. The first step is item 11, the approval of board minutes for the regular meeting on March 21st, special budget meeting March 22nd, and then special meeting executive session on April 4th. Motion to approve, please.
Second.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Erde?
Yes.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 12, curriculum, instruction, and program. Motion to approve. Item A is not on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Erde?
Yes.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Moving on to finance, at items A through O, which are listed on the addendum. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Erde?
Yes.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Now, school board operations, items A and B. Motion to approve, please.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Erde?
Yes.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Personnel, items A through Q, including the changes noted on the addendum. And for items B and E, motion to approve.
Can I ask a question in this section, please?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Just on, in this section, item K, approval of the following tech coaching staff to work up to 120 hours each during the summer at the rate of $50 an hour. Like, can I just get an understanding of what that staff does that would require maybe up to 600 hours during the summertime?
The tech coaching staff assists with the summer programming that happens, the extended school year programs, the ESY programs, and Flash program, and they also provide some assistance to the technology department with the resetting of all the Chromebooks that need to happen all this summer. Some of the big license summer curriculum, they'll take 5 coding and robotics. So instead of us doing that, we're not that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, motion to approve, please.
I got Stanton and Erde. Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Erde?
Yes.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Motion's carry.
Okay, moving on to policies, the first and second reading as noted in the agenda. Motion to approve, please.
So
Moved.
moved. Second.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Erde?
Yes.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes.
Ms. Cohn?
Yes.
President Cho?
Yes.
Motion's carry.
Very good. So finished our business portion. Now we need a motion to adjourn, and we do not need executive session, correct? So motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we end the meeting at 7:37 PM.
Thank you, everyone.